In our last episode, we successfully destroyed a pursuing base star. However, we had to leave one of our pilots behind, and I'm going to get him back.
Raptor 1342, Theseus.
We're currently flying a Raptor, assault variant.
Long-range Dratus is a mess. No wonder the Cylons haven't found us yet. At least we'll be jumping out of here soon. I'll keep you updated on anything over wireless. Just do the flying.
Alright, let's do this.
Jump complete. I'm reading 2 Dratus contacts, Cylon Raiders. Might be a rear guard. They haven't detected our emissions yet. As long as we don't shoot or get too close, we should be fine. Holy frack! Comms traffic is a mess. I can't make heads or tails out of anything. I'm not sure if it's because Civi channels are flooded, the clankers are jamming everything, or both. I'm picking up a faint wireless signal. It's too weak for an exact fix, but we can try to trace it. I'm not reading anything on Dratus other than the toasters. But if we can get within a click or two of that signal, I can get a lock. I don't think they've detected it yet. As long as we keep our distance from the Cylons and we don't fire our weapons, this should go very smoothly. I'm reading a faint Dratus contact. Damn. Just lost it.
Okay, now that faint Dratus contact is Obit. He's the pilot we're looking for. He was in Red Squadron. You might remember Obit from one of the earlier episodes. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to point my ship in the direction when the signal gets stronger. And please note the signal indicator in the middle part of the screen.
This is the Theseus. Explosion is preventing Tilly. Recalling officers.
I lost the transmission. It seemed to be jammed at the source. Sir, if the Theseus is under attack, we should abort mission.
This is Orange 2 to Orange Lead. Sir, for all we know, it's a fake transmission from the toasters. I suggest we proceed with the mission as ordered.
Yeah, we're going to proceed with this mission. I'm not leaving Obit behind. He owes me a drink. But what I'm doing here is I'm using glide mode to keep our engines off while still moving in the direction of the signal. And while we're still moving in that direction, I'm moving my nose around to find a stronger signal. And then periodically, I'm switching glide mode off to re-engage my navigation computer and to point my ship in that direction. But glide mode basically turns off flight assistance, which is basically simulates how the ship would act in the atmosphere, so it compensates for direction changes and applies reverse force. But switching it off is how we're able to do those awesome maneuvers where you're able to spin your ship around while still continuing to move in its original direction. And if you look at it's a circle with kind of a half crosshair on it. That shows you the actual direction where the ship's heading relative to my nose.
Found him!
Is that...
This is SAR Raptor 1342 to Red 3. We have received your wireless signal and are here to render assistance.
Thank the gods.
Don't worry, Obit. You're coming home.
Stand by. Orange 2 will jump in to retrieve you.
Okay, so now we're going to have to wait for Orange 2 to retrieve Obit.
This is Orange 2. We're ready to retrieve Red 3.
Obit, I think you owe me another drink for this. And I hope you have deep pockets, because I only drink ambrosia. But since Obit's Viper is powered off, you can't actually see him on Dratus, so we'll just have to follow Orange 2 really close and wait for them to give us the all-clear signal. Now, I probably haven't explained this before, but Dratus stands for Direction, Range, and Distance. It's the 3D radar that's right there in the lower right part of the screen. It also makes that distinctive noise. But it's a 3D radar that's also equipped with IFF, or Identify Friend or Foe.
Red 3 is secure. Returning to Theseus, Orange Lead.
We should return to the Theseus immediately.
Alright, mission complete. Let's jump out of here.
Multiple Cylon contacts. Long-range Dratus is still fracked up. How the hell did they find us?
Theseus to Orange Lead. Think the Lords, our distress call was received. Our fuel lines were ruptured by an internal explosion, which also damaged our MTL. The Cylons then jumped in. Internal fires have blocked access to the hangar deck. We haven't been able to launch any birds, and long-range wireless is being jammed.
God damn. With the fuel lines ruptured and those fires, they defend artillery reserves. Frack me, the emergency reserves are barely enough for...
Pilots, you need to buy us time to get our FTL back online. DC crews are starting to contain the fires. We should be able to get more birds in the air shortly.
Okay, so this search and rescue mission just turned into a combat mission really fast. My objective here is very similar to the first episode. I'm supposed to keep these fighters off of Theseus until she gets her FTL up and running. I guess the only difference is now we don't have to worry about any base stars. So, well, we'll see how this turns out.
Not too bad, sir. Not as good as me, though.
Okay, let's talk about the Raptor for a little bit.
Orange 2 has returned to the Theseus. SAR mission successful.
The Raptor is my favorite colonial bird.
2 new wings of Cylon Raiders have jumped in. They're armed with warheads. They're targeting our main batteries.
Okay, let's take out those advanced raiders first. As the name suggests, they're a bit tougher than the regular raiders, plus they tend to carry missiles. Okay, so let's see, where was I talking about Raptors? Oh, yeah. So, Viper pilots refer to Raptors as buses because of their size and the fact that they're used to transport people and equipment occasionally. And as you can guess, Raptor pilots are called bus drivers. This is somewhat of a derogatory term, but I think they really say it with some appreciation because Raptor pilots really get the short end of the stick.
Need some help? New Kratos contacts. Cylon Heavy Raiders. CVDR. Intercept and destroy.
Okay, now those Heavy Raiders are no joke. We need to take those out first before they get too close to Theseus. And they're roughly equivalent to a Raptor as far as, like, capabilities. Oh, God, I gotta flip this bird around and take out that pursuer. Okay, where is he? Ah, there he is.
Theseus, this is Yellow Lead. Distress calls received. We're moving into engage. Hold tight.
Pilots, the Cylon Heavy Raiders are on an approach vector with our flight deck. We believe that the Cylons may attempt a boarding action. Intercept them before they reach the Theseus.
Okay, so yeah, those Heavy Raiders really are bad news. We need to take those guys out before they land. If they land while the Theseus is trying to repair its FTL, it may take longer. And we could actually fail the mission if too many get aboard. Thankfully, though, I've got these dumbfire rockets. These dumbfire rockets are very effective against slow-moving targets like the Raiders. Plus, I've got these twin 35mm cannons. But the tactics that we're using are the same as if I was in a Viper. Get behind them and unload. But because this Raptor has a lot more firepower, I'm able to take these guys down a lot faster. Problem is, though, we're a slower bird, so it takes me longer to engage them. While with a Viper, I think the maximum speed's about 168 meters per second with Afterburner. With Afterburner, we can barely get, like, 90, if we're lucky. So these birds aren't built for speed. Now, I really hope I don't get caught in the firing solution. That could hurt. Especially since I'm not that fast and I can't get out of it as fast as a Viper could. But yeah, the Raptor, though, by far one of my favorite ships. The Raptor pilots really do get the short end of the stick. They're always doing, like, they're either doing the really boring jobs, like transporting cargo, or they're doing the really tough jobs.
All Heavy Raiders have been neutralized.
Like escorting a fleet through a, like, radiation field or something.
Thank the gods. All transports were intercepted before deploying boarders.
Theseus, how long until FTL is back online?
Systems are nearly online. 2 minutes. Prepare for combat landing.
You know, on second thought, let's not land just in case more of them show up. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, we're just gonna stay out here for a little bit.
Intercept and destroy. Just hold them off a little longer, pilots.
And what do you know? More raiders showed up. Well, I remember when I first did this mission, I actually landed my Raptor, and I was wondering why the mag locks weren't engaging, and more raiders showed up, so I had to launch, fly out of the flight deck again. Wow, these guys are no joke. They really tore my hull up. I'm sitting at about 16% now, so I have to be really careful. But as I was saying, if I had to choose any colonial ship to fly in the BSG universe, it would be the Raptor. First of all, they've got short-range FTL capabilities, unlike the Vipers and all the variants of the Vipers, really. Plus, I can actually get up and walk around in this ship. I mean, I feel like being a combat pilot in a Viper would suck on long sorties, because you're kind of just stuck in this tiny little capsule, more or less. Probably with a catheter and other uncomfortable things. But yeah, so you can get up and walk around. Plus, the original design of the Raptor was to have a ship that could fly ahead of the fleet, check the situation, fly back, and report what the new sector looked like. So they basically were designed as reconnaissance ships. But they're equipped with sophisticated sensors, probably because they were designed as reconnaissance ships. Plus their sensors and their computers are hardened against EMPs, and that was probably a design during the first Cylon War.
DC crews have reported that the FTL systems are back online. We're commencing FTL prep.
Okay, well that's my cue to get back to Theseus.
Detecting 2 new Dratus contacts. Cylon base ships.
Okay, that's really a cue to get out of here.
All pilots, prepare for emergency combat landing procedures. We're getting the hell out of here.
Raptor 1342, Theseus, approach doors in port landing bay. Hands on, speed 60, checkers ready. Call the ball.
Alright, let's get this bird lined up. See how well I can land this thing. I've had a decent record so far. Okay, I need to either pull up or... There we go, I'm going to rotate. Nope, too high. Oh, so much for a smooth landing. And I'm being pursued by a raider, too. Oh god, I really hope I don't blow up.
Raptor 1342, Theseus. Skids down, backlock secure. Welcome home.
10%. That was a close one.
You rescued Obit against the odds. Now, I don't wish to sound ungrateful, as we need every pilot we have, but you violated a direct order to recall and defend the Theseus. Under normal circumstances, you would be subject to a court-martial. However, I am grateful that you made it out of there alive and came to our aid when you did. You remained undetected while retrieving Obit. Unfortunately, these efforts to cover our tracks were all for nothing. I have grave news. The Cylons look like us now. A Cylon agent detonated an explosive device near our fuel lines. We nearly lost the Theseus, but the damage was contained. The Cylon agent was jamming wireless communications and transmitting our position to their fleet and signaled for the boarding action. This machine was neutralized. Our recalled recon flights have confirmed devastation on Pycon and Tauron. Pycon fleet headquarters were destroyed in the initial attacks. We have received messages that surviving colonial assets are currently being marshaled in orbit of Vergon. Our top priorities are to replenish artillery reserves and establish contact with the fleet. We do not have enough fuel to jump to Vergon, and we will be unable to maintain combat operations with our current supply.
Well, it looks like our situation just got worse. I'll see you in the next episode where we hopefully find some fuel. Thanks for watching.